Hello everyone. This month we had a wonderful developer update video by the Skywind team. Every dev diary from the Skywind team blows me away with their creative genius, incredible organization and endless passion. And this was no different. I'm sure all of you have watched the video. If not, I shall add the link in the description. As I was watching the dev diary, many questions popped in my head. So I sent them to the devs and they were kind enough to answer them. In this video, I will share their responses along with some of my observations with all of you. So let's get started then, shall we? Who is this legend who wrote this comment on Feb 1st, 2012? Are they still with the team and what was their involvement?
That user was one of the Skywind founders, and although they're not still with the project, that's perfectly usual. 12 years would be a very long time to stay involved.
Amazing. One man's vision in 2012 is now a reality. Kudos to you, sir. So, did the team move to Skyrim Special Edition only in 2018 after the launch of SKSE, or was it earlier?
Afterwards, it wasn't possible to move Skywind to the Special Edition prior to the release of SKSE 64. We're dependent on it. This is also one of the reasons that a console port of Skywind isn't feasible.
That makes sense. So if you are a console player, you need to get a PC that runs Skyrim to play Skywind. The concept art of Flame, Storm and Frost Atronach looks incredible. So my question was, why design a new concept art when the team could reuse Skyrim models and save time?
The Atronach replacers have always sat fairly low in the priority list for the reason you've stated, but we're keen to replace them to give Skywind its own feeling distinct from Skyrim. We're keen to make sure our creature artists have work. We actually had to abandon earlier plans to switch around the body types of the Atronachs. But the level design that had already been done, including Atronach placement, didn't permit the size changes it would have needed.
Next, these book illustrations are beautiful. Usually, illustrations are used to deliver information in a book with clarity and shed light on a certain subject. So can you share an example of an illustration which expands and complements what the book is trying to convey?
Sure. Check out the Book of Riddles at 353 as an example of illustrations that go along with the text. Other illustrations, viewable in previous videos, often depict a scene or symbol from the book. It makes each book more visually distinct and recognizable and sets the tone for the book.
Okay, regarding 3D art, I wanted the team to confirm if this indeed was a Bone Lord. And they did say that, yes, this is the Bone Lord. Bone Lords are usually found in ancestral tomes and animations on these creatures are fantastic. Next, I was fascinated by this armor. I wanted to know which NPC or group wears this, and the team replied,
This is Ashlander Warrior Armor. We actually originally referred to this set as Ashkan Armor, and you might see it on the web with that name, but given that the Gulakan tends to be the military leader of the tribe, and the Ashkan is often more of an ataman than a war chief, we've changed the term of reference.
Hang on, crossbows? What the hell? Is Skywind introducing crossbows?
Yes. In addition to spears, throwing stars and throwing knives, we'll also be making use of Skyrim's crossbow functionality with a set of Vardenfell appropriate crossbows.
Wow, so now anyone playing as an archer or a thief or a rogue or an assassin or a scout will have another weapon option apart from throwing stars and throwing knives. Amazing, Skywind team. So my next question is about asset implementation. What skills are needed to help out with asset implementation?
Experience with Nifscope is essential, and basic 2D and 3D knowledge is helpful. Familiarity with Outfit Studio would also be beneficial for clothing implementation. The specific skills include texture layering, color correcting, shader adjusting, weight painting, partitioning, collision mesh creation, body morphing, familiarity with additional third-party tools, and it's also important to have general problem-solving skills, patience, and free time.
Okay, so the team did say that asset design and tileset design are essential before level designers can even start their work. So the fact that most of the work is complete is extremely positive. Although the team did say that some assets can take a lot of time. Next, I wanted to talk about level design. The team did say that there are 1032 interiors that have to be designed, and in parallel, many exterior regions will receive finishing touches and clutter and other details. So my question was, once this process is complete, can a player walk from one end of Vvardenfell to the other and visit interiors of most locations? When does the team expect this to be fully complete?
Yes. Once all interiors and exteriors are done, the player should be able to walk and levitate anywhere and enter all homes and caves, etc. as in the original game. We don't know when this will be complete, as the number of active level designers varies wildly. Some months it could be 3, other months it could be 23. We don't know when people will join or leave, so there is no reliable way to calculate estimated completion time.
Yeah, I agree. With volunteer projects, it'll get done when it gets done. Next question. Is navmeshing one of the most painstaking things to do in this project? Every navigable area in the exterior of the map and the interior areas need to be navmeshed. Is there a dedicated team who only focuses on navmeshing, or everyone pitches in to help?
It's a lot of work. We have a dedicated team for Navmesh, but it is not uncommon for other volunteers from other departments to learn Navmeshing and help out with that as well, such as level designers or file cutters. Some people don't enjoy it, others find it quite relaxing. But yes, there is a lot of work to do.
Holy crow, just imagine the amount of painstaking work to be done. Every outdoor and indoor location will have to be navmeshed manually. It is too much. There has to be a better way, right? Can an automated script run around the game world and do the navmeshing of the entire game world in maybe few hours? I don't know, I'm a noob at all of this, and maybe I'm just talking nonsense here. We gamers take this for granted, but there's a lot of painstaking work done in every game. Next, we see an Absorb Magicka spell in action. This spell looks amazing. The visual effect is cool, but there is one problem. This spell was not available in the vanilla game. Morrowind had a scroll called Scroll of Monarchy, which was fairly expensive and only sold by one vendor in Tel Arun. So my question was, with an Absorb Magicka spell in Skywind, mages can absorb Magicka from NPCs and settlements or enemies. Will this be looked at during the balancing phase?
Game difficulty in general will be assessed via a balancing pass at the end. Vanilla Morrowind still had the ability to create spells that would regenerate Magicka through Fortify Intellect and Fortify Magicka, so it shouldn't be very different.
Next, the team talks about visual effects. So the team has already created 51 new spells with new visual effects, and all of this is being done by one person. So my question was, what skills are needed if one wants to help out this one-man army?
There are actually 2 people who have worked on our visual effects, but usually only one at any specific time because they both perform other roles for the project as well. It requires knowledge of Nifscope and the Creation Kit. There aren't many tutorials out there, and the Arcane University don't have a dedicated course for it, so there's some trial and error while you self-learn.
I feel this dedicated work on spells differentiates Skywind among other large modding projects. They're working to give us all the Morrowind spells with new visual effects and animations. Regarding music, will the music used during the day and night be from this album? Or will there be new tracks too? Also, will vanilla Morrowind tracks be included?
Frederick is one of a number of composers that have written and recorded music for the Skywind soundtrack. So far, we've had 22 people contribute in one way or another. We're currently trying to fire the department back up to work out what might need changing and where the holes are in the soundtrack. Morrowind's music is totally iconic. We haven't made a decision on whether we'll include it yet. We could potentially hotload music from the Dragonborn DLC, but the decision mainly hinges on whether we think the original music will mesh well.
Next, I want to talk about the incredible voice acting being done by the team.
What in Omsavi's name do you need a poison like that for?
Waxuthi! Look, kill you!
I fought Guars more ferocious than you.
Your bloodline ends here!
We can clearly see all the voice actors are incredibly passionate about Morrowind, and when passion flows freely, the result will be enhanced immersion for players. Thank you all voice actors, you guys rock. Will Skywind have scenes like Skyrim? When a player enters a new town, there is a scene between NPCs and these two will need voiceover work.
Skywind does indeed have scenes between NPCs. Some can be seen in the Necromancer in Mawia video, both in Molag Amur and in the tower. These have already been set up and voiced in many cases because we planned for them early on.
Oh, I love scenes in Skyrim. It is a unique way of communicating events or lore to the player. Often you see them only once and never ever see them again in a playthrough. But those scenes leave a wonderful imprint on your mind, and I'm so happy that Skywind will have scenes. Amazing. When I was watching the Dev Diary video, they said that they are creating new quests for faction leaders. So I wanted more information on this. What? New quests?
We have added a special bonus quest once you become the leader of a faction. We felt it was a bit disappointing for the faction quest lines to end once you reach the top, with no opportunity to actually use that new position for anything. This project started early on and is almost complete, with just the Fighters Guild left to go.
Wow, extra content. I hope we can also reject becoming an Archmage in the Mages Guild and offer it to someone more deserving. Not every player wants to lead guilds, and I hope stuff like that is implemented too. Next, the team spoke about smithing, and it is a new skill. So my question was, wow, is smithing really going to be a new skill? Will we have smelters, forges, anvils, blacksmiths? Can we craft weapons, armors, jewelry like in Skyrim?
Crafting will allow for creating weapons, armor, and repairing damaged armor. We don't plan to include tempering. Skywind will still reward exploration for finding special equipment, and not everything will be craftable, but yes. The skill will return, there will be smiths etc. in the game, and there'll be custom quests to unlock the skill.
I love smithing. It is so relaxing to mine silver, turn them into ingots, and craft silver garnet rings. Silver garnet rings. Ha ha ha. Next question. Skywind has around 3000 NPCs. Will all the 3000 NPCs have AI schedules and that have to be created and tested?
Yes, most NPCs will have full daily schedules, walk around, and head home to bed at night. Some NPCs are temporary, think of the courier in Skyrim, and may not have schedules as they appear and disappear for a specific function or random event. But the vast majority are permanent and will need full scheduling.
Wow, that's a lot of work, man. 3000 NPCs. Although, I feel creating AI schedules for NPCs is a very interesting project because you are essentially bringing life to these NPCs. Every NPC will have a schedule. They wake up in the morning, go to work, either at their farm or their shop. Then they take breaks, go on a walk, finally go back home at night. I love all of this. It's so immersive. Creating these AI packages is a cool tech, and once you create these AI packages, testing and seeing how the NPCs behave will be very interesting. I would love to help here if I can make some time. So my next question was, if one wants to join and help out here, I guess they need to have experience creating NPCs in Creation Kit and working on AI packages, right?
Mostly just working on AI packages. You won't be creating NPCs, but knowing your way around the NPC window is helpful. It's also helpful to know how to adjust object placements and Navmesh. For example, if you have to move furniture a bit for the NPC to sit more naturally. Scripting is helpful to know, but in most cases, it isn't necessary. All that said, we don't schedule a town until the level design and Navmesh are fully complete, so there's a bit of a bottleneck. Not much to do right now, but there will be loads in the future.
Alright, thank you so much Skywind team for answering all these questions for the community. I totally appreciate it. You guys are so busy, yet you take time for the community and share so much. Next we have Dream Time. These are my favorite screenshots from the Dev Diary. See you again next time for another Skywind update video, and may Vivek, Almalexia and Sotasil watch over you.